I climbed the Tatra mountains. I have no mountain climbing experience. When somebody says, do you want to go mountain climbing? I think it's a hike, something leisure, something that, I can do on a Tuesday afternoon when the sun is shining and there's beautiful fall foliage. I didn't understand that this mountain wasn't just mountain climbing, it was mountaineering. A quick Google search shows me that they are the highest mountains in the Carpathians, and then you zoom into that picture on the side and that looks terrifying. But nonetheless, I am exhausted from taking a red eye from SoCal Wadapalooza back home for a quick 4-hour layover, then all the way to Poland. So at this point, I'm about 36 hours without any sleep. So I'm a little bit delirious. And I already said that I was going to climb this mountain. So who am I to back out of an adventure last minute? And because I love going back to read receipts, this was the only form of communication that I had about climbing the mountains. The team will arrive the same day at 1400 to Krakow, so I collect you together. For the mountains, take good trekking gear for sub-0 degrees, that's Celsius, so about 34 degrees, around freezing. It will be cold. Gore-Tex, some poof, hats, gloves, and good shoes. Take a headlamp also. So when I packed, I did buy a adorable hot pink headlamp, and when I thought hiking shoes, I thought my rad runners would be appropriate because at my annual mountain climb, when we go up north to Rocky Point in Inlet, that is what I wear. But I was quickly proven wrong about why it's so important to wear actual mountain shoes when climbing said mountain. But before we got there, I didn't ask any questions. I had no idea what mountain we were climbing. I had no idea the logistics behind it. I just knew, hey, we're gonna land and we're gonna have a really fun day or night through the night climbing a mountain. But then of course, now that I have survived the mountain climb, I do a deeper dive into what these mountains all entail. So when I'm wondering how difficult was this mountain climb that I did, well, it says variable difficulty. There's a range of difficulty from moderate hikes to serious climbing routes. I'm pretty sure we did the serious route. Exposed and steep. Yes, I was fully exposed to a new trauma that was unlocked. Loose rocks and grass, well, the loose rocks, that was the least of my worry because it was raining all night, so the slickness was a bigger fear in my soul. And of course, let's not forget that these mountains create a natural border between Poland and Slovakia. And when I decided to look, hey, what's the more difficult side? Of course, it's the Polish side. The Polish side offers more accessible trails, but the peak of Rysy from the Polish side is considered more demanding due to a strenuous, rocky, and exposed final stretch with chains. And I would love to say that I didn't know about these chains beforehand, but we were tagged on Instagram with this picture that shows me that I'm going to have a helmet. I am going to have some chains hooked up, and that's going to be my lifeline for the night. But I thought, you know what? It can't be that bad. I didn't sign a waiver and I had no safety instructions, so it can't be that hard. Anyways, let's get into it and have a little watch party together as I was at least climbing down the mountain because that was the only time that I somewhat felt comfortable to do any recording, and all through my meta glasses because Lord knows I wasn't holding on to anything besides those chains the whole way down. So obviously at this point, I felt fine at 12:17 a.m. I was excited. You can't really see the smile on my face, but I'm still feeling good. However, at this point, we didn't lose one, but we lost two of our team members. Eric tapped out at about 2 hours, and then Gil at about 3 hours. At that third hour, I considered maybe this isn't for me, but in my head, I thought it's the middle of the night. Do I try to go back with one person, or do I stay with the group that has bear spray, that has guns? Because I don't know what's out in the wilderness. So I thought it would be safer to stay with the group and just continue the climb. And mind you, we hadn't used any of the chains yet, and it was incredibly enduring. My calves hurt, my hamstrings, whatever hamstring muscles I have hurt, my glutes hurt, but I felt good. I felt like it was a serious physical challenge, but I didn't feel like it was impossible, and I wasn't yet terrified. Oh yeah, and here's another cool part. Like, seems like a normal hiking trail. We see a wild animal off in the distance, and we're still having fun. Here's another moment where I'm still having fun. You can see rocks, and it's probably getting more challenging, but not enough for me to need both hands because I decided to take my cell phone out. And then I go dark. So if we can rewind a bit to the conversation I had with my sister when I landed in Poland, and, I'm talking to her about the hike. So basically, I'm telling her we didn't book anything. We're just like tagging along with the Polish team. They have this hike all set. It's a legit hike. We're going to be strapped to ropes and helmets and such, and we're going to be going through the night until breakfast. We had to go to the sports store because, of course, I needed to buy everything because I didn't really realize what we were doing. I might die. I said, we have 2 professional guides, apparently. I'm a wee bit nervous, but, here we are. I just had a bag of Skittles and an energy drink. Everything's fine. Fast forward during the hike. I'm never doing this again. Multiple panic, anxiety attacks, cried on the side of a mountain, frozen, holding onto a chain. I love adventure, but I'm actually scared. We're sitting now to rest, but we have to go back. I'm not kidding when I tell you we are scaling a mountain. The only saving grace is that it's dark and I can't see how far the fall is. This is the hardest thing I've ever done and the most scared I've been in my life. Don't text mom until you're back. I won't. I'll text you when I'm done. I gotta eat and warm up my hands. When I tell you guys, I have skydived, I've bungee jumped, I've whitewater raft down the Zambezi between Zambia and Zimbabwe. I've cage dove with great white sharks in Cape Town. I am a thrill and adventure seeker through the core. And maybe that's why I didn't ask questions before this mountain climb, because I thought, if the group can do it, if they think that this is, a fine thing to be doing after you land from a day of travel across the world, we should be good. And also, I'm pretty physically fit, not enduring. I learned that, and I said it like 19 times as we were climbing, as I was 183 beats per minute on my heart rate the entire time. I love adventure, but this was a whole other can of worms that we opened. I thought that I was going to be a mountain climber, but I will tell you that this is the one and only time that I will be a mountaineering girl, like mountaineering. Okay, moving on. The goal was we climb through the night. That's why we left at, 8:30, 9 p.m. because by sunrise, that's when we want to be at the summit, at the top of the mountain to see the sunrise. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to make everything worth it. So the goal was we were going to spend an hour or 2 in said cave. I'm still not convinced that the cave actually exists, but we'll get to that in a minute. So they keep saying 100 more meters until we get to this cave. And this cave is a sense of relief. We get to have a little bit of sleep, or at least close your eyes. We can change our clothes because at this point we've sweat through a lot of the layers, so we can put something dry on. We can start a fire. We can eat. We can warm up. We can, maybe have some room to move around. This cave, they kept saying 100 more meters. I'm holding the side of the mountain and my whole body is shaking as I am uncontrollably crying. And Palacios is behind me. He's like, deep breath, lower your heart rate, trying to calm me down. And this happened 4 or 5 times. So we don't find the cave. We decide that we need to rest and we need to get Thayer some food and some warmth and change his layers. So for about an hour, we sat on the side of the mountain. The guides slept, but there was no way I was shutting my eye because the last thing I want is to roll down to my death because, again, we're sitting at the side of a mountain and this part has no chains. So we do that, and then we continue to climb up the mountain where then we did get to see at 6:17 a.m. this beautiful top of the mountain. I'm sure on a sunny day without clouds, it would have been even more beautiful. And yep, you can see me down there still trying to climb to the top in the white jacket and green helmet. I'm still, making my way. I got 2 guides side to side at this point. They realized how terrified I was. So not only did I have my harness, but I also had 2 men strapped in front and in back of me. So triple safety for L-Dog for this adventure, at least on the way down. Oh, and here's a great view that I think Matt might have got of me. So you can see, yep, those rad runners, they, the slickness, I survived, but look how narrow that is. Good thing I have itty bitty feet. And yeah, then I just kind of sit down and I'm scooching my way and just hoping for the best that if I slide, at least I'm on my tush and got some padding back there. So that's video 1 of me coming down. But now we're going to go through when I put the meta glasses on and finally felt okay to record some of this, because if you don't get content of it, did you really do it? I needed to have some memorable moments. I do wish I had moments of me crying so I could hear what I was saying. I don't know if I was saying anything, but at least we have this. So this was coming down the top of the mountain, and you can see that I'm just kind of sitting, and now
I think I'm
gonna scooch. I think that's Matt in front of me.
I'm okay. I think, wait, the blue's like
yes,
stuck.
and I'm talking about how the blue
Okay.
rope that is being tethered to me for an extra security blanket is stuck on one of the rocks. And here's the realization.
Oh, that's the last chain?
That
Now what? Oh my god. Y'all are...
that's the last chain. And now I have to make it down.
Okay.
I also had no idea how to use this. I forget what these are called, but these...
Now what?
Oh, no.
Yep,
Just kind of waiting to be saved here.
Happily.
I mean, a beautiful view. That's not a bad morning view, but I did cry several times. Oh, yep, there's my blue leash.
Oh yeah, I think that we're a little tangled. Or is that okay? Oh, I did this way.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
We're fine.
So this, again, is the part where I'm not really scared anymore. I feel like I'm going to be okay. Oh, yeah, way up there in the red. That was the top.
Me go first? Okay. Oop.
Yeah, so before this, no mountaineering experience.
You okay?
Okay. There's no real route. You just
This
kind
way,
of have
you
to
think?
figure out what's the path of least
stuck.
resistance here. Okay, so we're figuring out, am I stuck? Am I not stuck? Am I safe? Am I not safe? I don't really know. And mind you, it was raining. You can't see or notice, but it was raining pretty good. Not pouring, but the drizzle just made everything wet. And luckily all of the clothes that I got, not that bad, not that
Okay,
bad.
this way is actually
The
not
clothes
that
I was
bad.
wearing actually...
Well, if I roll down, I'm not going to roll to my death. I'll just...
Thank God for that. I won't roll to my death. I'll just tumble and hopefully fall.
I'm sitting on the rope.
But all my gear was good
Okay.
except for my gloves. I bought these massive mittens that were super warm, but I didn't realize that it was hard to hold the chains with those. You couldn't get a good grip. During the night, I took the gloves off, but then
Yep, I'll wait.
as they got slick, that just wasn't safe. The next day, though, I truly had calluses formed. So I have my CrossFit ones that are right under my fingers, but then across my palm, I had some pretty bad calluses. Oh yeah, there's that beautiful pink headlamp that I bought. The only thing that helped me prepare. Nonetheless,
Okay, I'm just putting my
the
helmet
boys
back
had
on.
extra gloves. I went through 2 pairs that were just
hold on.
soaking wet.
My helmet
But
got loose.
we made it
and I-
up
Oh, there we go.
75,
Hat on.
100 feet.
Let me turn this off.
Almost 8,000 feet in the sky is where we were for this mountain climb when we reached the summit. And the funny thing is, the team thought, and when I say team, I mean the tour guides, they thought we were going to hit 3 summits through the night. We hit one. And if they told me we were doing one more, I think I would have done exactly what Gil and Eric did. I would have just tapped out and I would have found my way back, waited for the sun to rise, and then if a bear wanted to attack me, I would at least see it coming. And now they're speaking in Polish, probably making fun of me. I never did cross-check that, but, you know, I made fun of me. I'm making fun of me. I was probably hilarious for everybody because of the trauma that I endured. And I was a big old baby, but you know what? I did it, and that's why I got the tattoo of the mountain, because this is by far the hardest physical, mental, emotional thing that I have ever done in my entire life. Here for a good time, not a long time. But yeah, you can see that we are up above the clouds. And I'm just going slowly but surely, trying to make it to our location where we can get a hot meal, maybe change our clothes, and no longer be on a mountain.
Don't think.
Bless that man.
Okay.
Tethered to me the whole time on the way down.
Okay.
Really talking me through it. Don't think about the rope. He's in charge of the rope.
Okay.
Just scooch on down. Take my time. Everything's going to be fine. But also, oh yeah, all the way to the left, you can see the lake, which the lake was beautiful. And some pictures online show how stunning it is, especially on a blue sky, clear day. And you can see it surrounded by all of the mountains. But it's funny because I truly didn't research this mountain before we did this, because I didn't know what mountains we were climbing until we were on our way to the mountains. Light bulb, I'm figuring it out.
I see. Okay.
Takes
now
me a
I
few
understand.
times, you know. I'm new to this.
Oh, we are up.
It's also one of those things where I never thought that I was scared of heights. Like I said, I've been skydiving, bungee jumping, things that are up pretty high. But being high on a mountain is just a totally different feeling. So I don't know if at night when we were climbing up, if that was more terrifying or if this was more terrifying. Because, I mean, I think going down was much easier because I could sit instead of like having to pull my entire body weight, 143 lbs.
Let me... Yep.
Holding on the whole time.
I'm gonna attach
where
this.
like your footing could get slick and slip, where the fact that I could sit down made it easier, but I could also see my surroundings. So I don't know if that made it scarier or not.
So
I think maybe being in the evening night sky abyss and not seeing anything around us was actually scarier than this view here.
Okay.
But I don't know. Matt, what a gentleman. At this point, I don't hate him anymore. At this point, I'm like, okay, Matt, maybe this was worth it. I hated you for a couple hours on that mountain hike. But he is a lovely man, and now I've learned I need to be accountable to ask questions before I commit to something. But you know what? Never in my life have I had to ask more questions before something and regretted it. I wouldn't say I regretted this. I don't regret it. I'm glad I did it, and I'm proud that I did it. Oh yeah, let's capture Lauren coming down. We got to prove that she did this. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for getting the good content. As I'm now just scooching my tush. clipping on in. Yeah, and I went to the extreme because you can turn those things just a little bit.
Okay,
and
let's boogie.
you'll be fine, but I didn't want it to come loose at all, so I really twisted that in. Yeah, like look all the way up. It's so narrow. It's a good thing that I did this climb before I ate my body weight in pierogies, because if I tried to do this before I left, I would have been, you would have needed the side wide load coming through, because I would have been an entire pierogi just trying to climb up and down this mountain. I would have had more cushion to fall though, so there's at least that. Oh, this area looks nice and not too difficult.
Do you want to get
I think this is when I was like, okay, the hardest parts are over. The scaling of the mountain is over. Yeah,
doing
see,
great.
this whole team is literally tethered to me and helping. Making sure that I'm not going to have a mental B again.
There's no
But look at the
need
size
to
of their
rush.
packs. So ours were probably like 15 pounds. So not only was this mountaineering, but it also was like a 10-hour ruck. And that's also why I wanted to wear my Rad Runners, because I'm pretty confident that those shoes are super comfortable. I've worn them at events all day long. I was honestly worried that if I got new shoes that I was going to get blisters, and I was more concerned about that than anything. Maybe I should have been concerned about falling to my death. They're convinced that I wouldn't have died if I fell. I did hear, of course, one of the Polish guys tells me as we're sitting and eating and drinking coffee on the side of the cliff, they tell me that 7 people have died on this mountain this year. And I'm just like, know your audience. I don't need to know that. You can tell me that once we get down and we're on safe grounds. But right now, we still got to climb all the way down.
Okay, me? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Here got a little like sketchy. Got a little concerned during this part. Easy does it. We're gonna lean forward. I'm telling you, being 5'1 1/4, that didn't do me any benefits when I was trying to get my legs and my arms all extended. So apparently I need to join a rock climbing gym now and practice this. And I know that my grip strength, it sucks. It's so bad. Like one of the metrics of like overall health is grip strength. And every now and then I try to see how long I can hang for. And I don't think that I can hang for longer than, I think my max is like 1.5 minutes, maybe a minute, something like that. It's not very good. It's very weak. But I think if I had a better grip strength, that maybe this would have been a bit easier. That looks like a very steep section. Okay, maybe there were a few more really hard sections before we got done. But see, yeah, there's no way that if I was wearing mittens that I would have been able to maneuver this chain. So I'm grateful that the boys had extra gear. Yeah, I'm getting a little, I don't know if anybody else is getting a little dizzy looking at this, but truly, when I think about doing this, I can't even believe that I did. Nonetheless, on very limited sleep, no sleep for at least 2 full days here. Almost 3. Yeah, because I came from California on a red eye.
Here.
So that was Sunday, and this was Wednesday morning. Oh, man. And obviously, I'm last at this point. Travis and the Knicks, they no longer were waiting for me. They're like, she's good. She's with the guides. She's with Matt. Okay. We're getting down this mountain as quickly as possible so that we can get some hot food and warm And I don't blame them because if I could have been faster, I would have ran down the mountain and wouldn't have waited for anyone. I would have been like, every man and woman for themselves. We are moving.
Go.
But at this point, I was just thinking slow and steady. We're just going to tiptoe down the mountain. I catch up with them eventually. We'll get to those shortly. Okay, well, that's good to know. This one
This one's
wasn't
not
so
so
bad. Thank God for that. I was surprised, though, that
I don't know that sitting on the rocks is mountain climbing, but
mountain sitting.
it works for me. Shimmying my tush down the mountain is how I prefer. Attached to multiple people.
I was surprised on what parts of my body actually were sore. The next day, I thought that my calves and hamstrings were going to be lit up, but it actually was the backs of my knees were super sore. It almost felt like my ligaments were sore. And I think that was more from going on the way down than maybe the way up. Obviously, I'm scooting down here, but there were extended portions of area where I was walking down big slopes. And I think maybe from just, I mean, there's nothing else that I do in my training that is like that. Sure, you do box step ups or box jumps, but not for 10 straight hours. So, I will say that was a shock to my system. Yeah, now we're starting to get a groove. We're moving a little bit faster. I can kind of see the end-ish. I mean, yeah, it very much looks like we're still in the mountains, and we are. I think we still have 3 hours at this point. 6, 7, 8, 9. About 2 hours from here. Which feels like nothing, but also 2 more hours of this also felt daunting in a lot of ways. Because as soon as you get off of one of like the chained areas, and then you have an area that you can walk, you think, oh, there's not going to be any more chains. We're kind of done here. And then you quickly are reminded, nope, we got more chains. Oh, I'm sitting on the blue rope again. Yeah, looking up. We've come down quite a bit at this point. But also speaking to the elevation, I said we were up about 75 or 7,700 feet. At 8,000, that is where you would need to acclimate and where you needed to use oxygen. So if anybody's watching this and wondering why we didn't, we were right under what that like level of elevation would be in order to need that. If I saw that we needed to do that, I think that would have really, well, honestly, maybe not. I thought maybe that would be a warning, but seeing that we had to have tethers and chains, that should have been a warning that this was going to be challenging, but apparently that didn't register to me. So this will be the last little bit of us using those chains. We had more, but I would say like these were the steepest parts, and then it got much more doable after this section. Yeah, you can even see as we get closer to not being above the clouds for too much longer here.
Yep. Good.
I guess I hit my hip.
Oh, God.
I didn't feel it the next day, so that's good. Of course, I'm losing things because I had to get the meta glasses out. So then now I have free hands, but I can't put the helmet and headlamp on. Or I have the...
See, I smile. You just haven't seen it.
Yeah, my smile had
hours.
dimmed very quickly.
Aw, dang it.
Once we started doing these chains the night before. And I know, I mean, Matt's the only one that, like, I really know well. The other guys I met, and... And they don't know
Do
me.
I what?
I don't know what we're talking about.
It's the only mountain I've ever been on, so I guess.
Okay, well, there,
I
from the
actually
horse's
like it
mouth,
much
it was
better
scarier
now.
in the dark.
It was scarier in the dark.
Thank God I feel better.
I feel
But,
better.
Nah, I forgot what I was talking about, but anyways. Yeah, so you can see that the way that I was sliding down and holding on. Imagine going up that way and just the sheer will to not let myself fall and just hold on. There was one part that I like slipped a little, but I never actually fell where the harness needed to save me, if that makes sense. What a time to be alive. So here's where we're on stable grounds and we see a mountain goat.
Betty.
Last thing I need is to get headbutted off this hill by that dude.
You don't want
Getting
that to be the way to
headbutted
go?
off the mountain. No, we've already made it through the climb. We can't let that happen. But I mean, look, like now that we're down the hard part of the mountain, this view is stunning.
Wait, point again.
That one?
Out in the clouds. All the way up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
7,500 feet. You gained
7,500 feet.
75 feet.
Did you count your steppies? What's your Garmin say, or did yours die like mine?
No, mine's still going. I am 10 hours and 5 minutes into the trip.
Nick Palacios, everybody.
33.4 kilometers log.
What's that in miles?
13.4 kilometers.
Math is hard. I don't know the
We'll
conversion.
Google it.
We'll have to Google that.
Wow, look at this.
But, yeah, like 10 miles. Is that what it was? Yep. And then this is just walking on the trail to get back to, there's like a ski slope lodge area that we could take a little like cart thing back down. I'm smiling now. I'm friends with everyone now. Now that we're down and we're safe. But unfortunately, because I came from California and everything, I didn't charge my Garmin. It normally lasts over 10 days with the way I have it set up, but I just, with all the travel, I didn't have time to charge it, and I didn't think that, I didn't plan. That's really what happened. Yeah.
Smile!
No, we're so happy. We're walking. Look at me. I'm in the mountains. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Liar, liar. I was not smiling 6 hours before said video was taken. So that was my adventure of the time that I climbed a mountain. It was the most physically demanding, mentally tough, emotionally difficult thing that I have ever done in my life. But truly looking back at it, I feel proud. It was incredibly rewarding to know that, yes, I know that I can do hard things, but this hard thing was such a different extreme to doing hard things in my life. So would I do it again? No, probably not. Maybe if it was a warmer summer day. Never say never. Never say never.